I don't feel bad for Anthony Richardson getting benched like he did for Joe Flacco. In fact, I think Indiana did the exact correct thing they needed to do. You tapped yourself out of the game because you were tired. I don't think this kid has no idea like what he's done. I don't think he probably knows now after probably the coaches got a hold of him and really sat down with him. I imagine, and I'm sure he understands now. But in that moment, my God, you have compromised yourself so badly with not just your own teammates, but the entire league. Like if you get traded or shipped out somewhere else, there everyone that's playing with you as a teammate will always remember what you said that in that press conference after that game. They're always going to remember that. They're going to remember that you tapped out and basically quit on your team because you got tired from running around. Michael Parsons, said it on his podcast, which was hilarious, I think. Whenever you get up to the media, just lie. Don't be honest. I understand being honest and all that, but there's certain situations where you probably don't want to be that honest and tell the media, who will take that and run with it, act like they have, and say that, yeah, I was tired. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Just lie and say that you got the wind knocked out of you, or it was some kind of injury, something that kind of made you have to go to the sideline. You don't ever say that you're tired. That's literally a punch to the face of each and every one of your teammates. They can't trust you anymore, bro. They can't trust you. If you're gonna do that, they can't trust you. The Indianapolis fans, they can't trust you right now. So they decided to turn to a 39-year-old Joe Flacco to take your place. A first-round draft pick, number 3 overall. And you get benched for 39-year-old Joe Flacco, not just because, and honestly, part of it is because of your play. He has not played well this season. He has turned the ball over numerous times. He has not done well with protecting himself. He learned nothing apparently from last season, missing the entire season, about protecting himself, getting down when you take off the run. So this is a magnified issue, not just about what he said and him getting benched, but the developmental process. We look at all of these young quarterbacks that have been drafted so highly and have been thrown right in there before they're ready. Zach Wilson, Bryce Young, now Anthony Richardson, among others, Mac Jones. These were first-round draft pick quarterbacks. What happened to drafting a guy that high and letting him sit and learn before he's ready to get out there? Justin Fields, another one. What has happened to the NFL that you can't draft a quarterback prospect and allow him to sit and learn, and when he's ready to take over, then you give him the reins? We're just throwing these guys out there thinking that they're going to just keep doing what they were doing in college like it's simple. And people were like, oh, Patrick Mahomes did it. Oh, Josh Allen eventually got it. Lamar Jackson ended up doing well. Sam Darnold looks better now, but Jaden Daniels looks good. The latest example. Yeah, sure. CJ Stroud, yeah. You're talking about one quarterback out of the 5 or 6 that got drafted that did that. That's a rarity. It's not fair, in my opinion, to expect that from these young quarterbacks who just simply weren't ready yet. But we're so quick to label all of them a bust because they aren't doing what Patrick Mahomes did in his first year starting. They aren't doing what Lamar Jackson did in his first year fully starting. They aren't doing what C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels are doing right now, what Jaden Daniels is doing right now in his first year starting. So we blame these guys. Caleb Williams is already being called a bust, which is crazy. It's his first season. 8 games in, he's already being called a bust. I understand he had all these labels attached to him as transcendent talent and the next big franchise quarterback is going to take over the league. Comparisons to Patrick Mahomes, all this stuff. This isn't Caleb Williams saying that about himself. This is the media saying this about Caleb Williams. This is the media putting all these expectations on Caleb Williams to hit the ground running like a Patrick Mahomes, like C.J. Stroud did last year in his rookie year. But the reality is that doesn't happen often. It doesn't happen a lot. So we're blaming all these young quarterbacks who simply just aren't ready yet. Anthony Richardson it doesn't even surprise me that he's struggling. He did not look that ready to me at Florida. He needed time. I see the physical traits. I see the ability and the ceiling that you can have with him. But it's too soon, clearly. So it's just there's way too much. There's no patience. Let me say that. There's no patience right now. There's no patience really moving forward with these quarterbacks. They're already building up the next guy. Shador Sanders, Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers out of Texas. All these new crop of quarterbacks coming in, they're going to have the same type of expectations. If they don't hit the ground running in their rookie season, it is a failure and a bust. I just think that's very asinine. Look at the greatest quarterbacks that we've ever seen and how they started. Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion. Did he start his rookie year? No, he sat behind Drew Bledsoe. Aaron Rodgers, did he start immediately in his rookie year? No, he sat behind Brett Favre. Jordan Love, staying with the Packers. Everybody was questioning how he was going to look. How's he been looking lately? Sat behind another great quarterback to learn. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that process? I understand that you want to win. You want to be a good team and have people want to come and see your team, especially if you're not doing that well. I get all that from a marketing perspective. But what you're asking is not something that is commonly going to happen. You hope that it'll happen, obviously, but the reality is you got to develop these guys. Some of these guys just aren't ready yet. Bryce Young, great quarterback at Alabama. I'm a fan of his. I don't think it's fair what's been done to him in Carolina. He sucks, so I'm going to bench you for Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton sucks worse, so I'm just going to throw Bryce Young back in there. That's not how you develop a quarterback. You are rocking his confidence and his mental up here. I'm sure of it. And it blows my mind that we've gotten so impatient from the old days of the NFL, watching the greatest quarterbacks of all time develop right before our very eyes, understanding that they didn't start their rookie season immediately because they weren't ready yet. It doesn't mean they won't get ready. It doesn't mean they don't have a chance to get better. Trey Lance is another one. Clearly wasn't ready. They threw him out there, and he didn't really have a chance. Like, he just got injured and just never really had a chance. He had 1 or 2, maybe 3 games to prove himself, and then he just got shipped off, and now he's in Dallas backing up Dak Prescott, which I think is a good situation for him. I think he still needs time to learn with an adequate quarterback and Dak Prescott. So Trey Lance hopefully is in a better situation than he was before when he got drafted. Zach Wilson, he's in Denver right now. There's no veteran quarterback really to help this guy. Well, Aaron Rodgers tried to help him, but again, Zach Wilson, a lot of talent, got some talent there, but he just wasn't ready. And then some guys might not. The reality is, some guys might not ever be ready. It's just sometimes you just miss, and it's a bad draft pick. But a lot of times we don't blame the organization. We don't blame the coaching with the development of these quarterbacks or lack thereof. And I think that really needs to be addressed. That's just kind of how I feel about it. Anthony Richardson, I think this is a combination of 2 things, though. One, you have a long way to go to rebuild the trust of your teammates, your coaches, and the fans. But you also, it flips back on the coaches. You got to do better by Anthony Richardson. Fix it. Coach him. Coach him to not make these turnovers. Coach him to get down and not keep getting injured. Help him get better. This might be a great situation for Anthony Richardson to be benched. This might be the best thing that happened for him in his young career. To sit back and learn from a Super Bowl champion that has been there and done that on how to get it done.